low vibrational activities, easy to engage in, harder to stop. Hello, it is cold in the mountains of Canada here. So I want to chat a little bit about high vibrational activities versus low vibrational activities so that we can gain a little more clarity in terms of what we're doing and how it's affecting us. Now, very, very often when we are about to engage in or just beginning in an activity which we might describe as a little bit more high vibrational, there is often a perception like we have to walk through the fires, a lot of resistance to doing that activity. And in Buddhism, in some of the meditative schools, they'll discuss this as a flash in the pan, and many people will experience this where when they first start their seated practice for that session, the first 10 minutes or whatever might feel quite agonizing. And then that flash, that flare goes down and it eases out. Now, this applies to any activity where in the beginning there is a bit of resistance. And on the other side of that resistance is something quite beneficial. Now, this could be resistance with doing something for work, right? Maybe it's filming videos, if you do what I do, filming lessons. Maybe it's, it depends on what you do. Maybe it's eating a little bit less food with your meals, okay? If you're trying to lose some weight. And maybe it's fasting. In the beginning, there's a lot of resistance, but on the other side of resistance, on the other side of, say, hunger, can be a lot of energy. And many people who fast will note, oh, I had so much more energy while I was fasting. And this is a pretty repeatable type of trait. So when you look at something that's high vibrational, it might be a little bit harder to start that activity, but once you are engaged in it, there's a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of light, a whole lot of inspiration and passion and intuition inside of that activity as you start to enter the flow of that activity. There's just a bit of a gateway, and that's it. Now, low vibrational activity is the opposite. Easy to get into. It's very easy to do something that isn't inspired, okay? Maybe it's eating a lot of junk food, not doing a meditative practice, not exposing yourself to physical stresses, whether it's exercise or cold plunges or whatever, insert whatever you like here. It's very easy to engage in a low vibrational activity, but after some time, typically there's a lot of resistance that will start to build up as you are in recognition that it is in a little bit of a sense harming you. So we have low vibrational activities, easy to engage in, harder to stop, and higher vibrational activities, a little harder to begin, but with a very, very high reward and payoff. So with that in mind, a really common one that we will engage in is a type of gossip. Even in the spiritual world, I call it the spiritual herpes, is the gossip chain. And many of us, I mean, we like to hear the sounds of our own voice. We like to show how we know stuff, especially if we're teachers. I spent a lot of time around different people who teach different things. And most of us, we really like talking about what we know. And this includes what our observations might tell us about other people. And it's something I've noticed for some time is that this gossip is very easy to engage in. There's a compulsive speech that occurs. We feel compelled to speak, like the words are being pulled out of us, almost like a flow. But it's for a very negative type of talking. Now, one of the positive benefits, we could say a benefit of gossip, what's a reason that we might engage in something like that, is it can help with getting to know ourselves better through talking with a close friend about the habits of somebody else. Ooh, look, a little creature. I don't know where it went, but it clearly did not want to be filmed. So positive aspects, say why we might gossip, would be something like we get to know ourselves better through discussing the habits, the actions, the way that somebody else interacts with the world. We're, through our own conversation, figuring out, in one sense or another, how do we act? How do I act? How do I think? How do I talk? Why would somebody act in that way? Is this the way that is correct to act or incorrect to act or talk or think, or etc., etc. So there can be some value from a perspective of discovering yourself through talking about the habits and actions of others. However, you can get a lot more, I think, out of talking about yourself. So that's one of the positive benefits. Now, the negatives are off the charts, and what you want to look at is gossip. Easy to engage in. It's very easy to engage in. Low vibrational activity. Okay? So when we are talking about other people, we are often expressing a type of static. We're expressing that flash in the pan. And instead of, say, sitting in silence or not engaging in that activity, or merely telling whoever it is that wants to bring it up, hey, yeah, let's talk about us, we're the ones that are here. Instead of that, what we're doing is we're not going through the fires. We're allowing those fires to, and then we do the easy thing, which is to do the low vibrational thing in the beginning, which is to engage in that type of conversation. So there are many different activities we can do. We want to start looking at what makes us feel weak in the long term, what makes us feel strong, what makes us feel inspired over time and full of energy and full of life, and what depletes us and pulls those tendencies a little further from our grasp. Okay, so you look at anything that you're doing, whether it could be a diet that you're eating or whatever it is, people you're spending time with, activities that you're engaging in, thoughts that you're having. You run through the whole gamut of understanding of who and what you are and what you do, etc. And is it low vibrational? Is it high vibrational? Now, one caveat here is that sometimes to go through the flash in the pan takes energy, right? To go through that flash in the pan takes energy, to go through that resistance, okay? And that resistance is the part of us that does not want to engage in that. But because it takes energy, if our vital body is weak, sometimes it takes more energy to go through that resistance than we have. And then the only way to work around that is through changes in perspective, where it is no longer, where there isn't any resistance. And that's a whole other topic unto itself there. Okay. Okay, hope you enjoyed the beautiful view here. I'm out in the mountains. It's kind of chilly. I'll let you go here. Thanks for your time. Bye.